Welcome to the final Monday morning tennis rant of 2024. This past season has been emotional for me with Rafa retiring, and it's also been very exciting. There has been a lot of great matches. I'm going to do something different this year compared to last year, and I'm going to feature my top 5 professional tennis matches of 2024. Feel free to add your own in the comment section or disagree with mine, which I'm sure that you will. But let's talk about the breaking news from a couple of days ago. Andy Murray is going to be Novak Djokovic's new coach. And I thought right away, this is like Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed. Once they were fighting against each other, and now one is coaching the other. This is super exciting. And the big question is, will this have a positive impact on Novak Djokovic's 2025 season? I think it's possible that this might provide a spark to Novak Djokovic. This shows me that Novak Djokovic is still motivated to do big things in tennis. But as I've discussed many times, the effect that professional coaching at the elite level has on players' performances, I estimate it to be somewhere between 1 and 5%. If we have a player that's very young and inexperienced, it's possibly closer to 5%. And if we have a player that's older and more experienced, the effect is possibly closer to 1%. So I do believe that the addition of Andy Murray into Novak Djokovic's team could add that extra 1%. But will that be enough to get back to the top of the game? That's the big question mark. And I have my doubts. I think Novak has proven in 2024 that he can still challenge Alcaraz, but he has had his struggles with Sinner this year. They played twice, and Novak did not really have a chance to win. Now, Novak is not alone in this. Sinner is absolutely dominating the tour. As I discussed after the ATP Finals victory over Fritz, Jannik Sinner keeps improving his game. Now he has added feel to his repertoire. He's hitting better drop shots. He's also hitting the Alcaraz inside out forehand drop shot really well from the backhand corner. That's something that I haven't seen him do as much as he did it in that match on Sunday against Greek Sport, who, by the way, deserves a lot of credit. I analyzed the Greek Sport serve a while back, and he is one of the best servers on tour. A great player, and he played a really good match against Sinner. It was very close. He lost the first set 7-6. It was 2-all in the second set, a long game on Greek Sport serve that he ended up losing, and that broke the match wide open, and Sinner was unstoppable from that point on. But Greek Sport did play extremely well. And Sinner, just like in the ATP Finals, was rock solid. He's moving well, serving well, hitting so precise and clean from the baseline. He's going to be hard to stop, and you better believe Sinner is going to continue to improve his game. I don't see any reason why Sinner wouldn't be able to dominate the clay season and also the grass season. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he can do that. And it's also going to be super interesting to see what the other guys will do, because they are going to try. Medvedev is still playing well. Zverev is on the top of his game. Alcaraz has had Sinner's number this year. He beat him in Indian Wells. He beat him at the French, and he also beat him in Beijing. Alcaraz has had a great year, winning 2 slams and winning Indian Wells, but there has also been some up and down performances. So I'm looking for Alcaraz to stabilize his game and make it more consistent throughout the entire year. So what will happen in 2025? Will Sinner continue to dominate, or will these guys get him at some of these big tournaments? Right now it looks as if Sinner is unstoppable, and truly in 2024 he delivered a GOAT level season. I talked about Berrettini in many of my Monday morning tennis rants this year, and he has one of the best serves in the world. I know you guys have been requesting the Fritz serve. I am going to analyze it and possibly release it this year, but I'm also going to analyze the Berrettini serve. Berrettini hurt his ankle last year at the 2023 US Open, and he fell out of the top 100 but clawed his way back. And I do believe we're going to see Berrettini in the top 10 in 2025. He's a phenomenal player. In the match against Botic in the Davis Cup final, Berrettini was hitting some of the most crazy down-the-line forehand winners that I've ever seen. He has so much acceleration, so much whip on his forehand as well as on his serve. He's a fun player to watch. Now, during Indian Wells, when Djokovic lost to Nardi, I made a video that was titled Italian Problems. And in this video, I gave a tribute to Italian tennis And the Italian Tennis Federation deserves a lot of credit because for a while now, when I look at results, and I don't only look at professional results from the ATP and the WTA, I also look at futures, I look at junior events, and I always was amazed at how many events are taking place in Italy, whether it's junior tournaments, whether it's futures, whether it's challengers, whether it's WTA tournaments, ATP tournaments. The Italian Tennis Federation has invested a lot of money into their tennis. The Italian tennis community is a proud one and a strong one. I noticed this in the Nick Kyrgios comment section on Instagram. If you went in there about a month ago, you would see thousands upon thousands Italian comments defending Sinner. And all this country needed was a 1 in a billion superstar player, and it has absolutely exploded the tennis scene. Jasmine Paolini this year played such a spectacular season. She is so fun to watch. Italy also won the Billie Jean King Cup. The biggest strength the Italian women's team has is the doubles combination of Errani and Paolini. Those two play so well together and have won so many big titles. So Italian tennis is on the top of the tennis world, and they deserve a lot of credit. And I'm not necessarily judging that on how many players they have inside the top 100. I have made those rankings often in the past, and it's usually on the men's side between the United States and France. Who has the most? On the women's side is between the United States, Czechia, and Russia, who has the most players in the top 100. But just going on pure enthusiasm about the game of tennis, it appears to me that Italy is number one in the world for sure. If you compare it to other countries such as Germany, where I used to live, or the United States, the enthusiasm about the game of tennis is nowhere near the level that it is in Italy. So we all can learn a lesson or two from what Italy is doing regarding tennis. All right, now let's cover the top 5 matches of 2024. And this is where you're most likely going to disagree with me. I put Nadal against Navone at number 5. This match was the most entertaining one that I watched this year. Why? Because I'm a Rafa fan. But this was so nostalgic for me. I was able to see vintage Rafa at certain times. He was far away from his prime. But the match lasted 3 hours and 59 minutes. Nadal lost the first set 7-6, then won the second set 7-5, and won the third set 7-5. The match featured so many ups and downs. It was a real nail biter. The stands were absolutely packed. The crowd was enjoying it, and I had such a great time. This to me was the very last great Rafael Nadal performance, and I enjoyed it very much. Coming in at number 4 is Swiatek versus Sabalenka in the Madrid Open final. This match lasted 3 hours and 11 minutes. Iga won the first set 7-5, lost the second set 6-4, and then won the third set 7-6, saving 3 match points. This match was of an exceptional quality. This was the best advertisement for the WTA, which in my opinion is better than ever. There are so many great players at the top of the game, and arguably the two best ones are Sabalenka and Swiatek. I would also include Rybakina in that group, but she is still trying to find her form. She took a lot of time off towards the end of the year. The fast conditions in Madrid were more suitable for Sabalenka. She's an unbelievably heavy hitter. She hits the ball faster than most men on average, and she was playing well in this match, blasting the ball all over the place and not making a lot of mistakes. And Iga was playing defense like Rafael Nadal and was able to snatch this match from Sabalenka. If you're not a fan of women's tennis, go and check out the highlights of this match and you might become a women's tennis fan. This match was truly one of the best ones that I've ever seen. Coming in at number 3 is the Australian Open final between Sinner and Medvedev. And it's so interesting to see the Sinner from January compared to the Sinner now. And there's a huge difference. Even though Sinner was so good in January, after all, he won his first Grand Slam tournaments, he has gotten so much better this year. But this match was a super interesting one. It was a 3 hour and 44 minute affair in which Medvedev came out with a great strategy. He was playing unbelievably aggressive and not letting Sinner breathe. He won the first set 6-3, won the second set 6-3. And then something happened to Sinner that, quite frankly, set tone for the rest of the season. And he found his best level when it mattered the most, down 2-0 in a Grand Slam final. Sinner wins the third set 6-4, wins the fourth set 6-4, and then wins the fifth set 6-3 and collects his first Grand Slam title. Coming in at number 2 for the best match of 2024 is Alcaraz versus Zverev in the French Open final. Not necessarily the best match for the quality of it. This was very much an up and down match. But from the pure entertainment factor, this is a match that I will never forget. It was a 4-hour and 19 minutes affair in which Alcaraz came out strong. He was the favorite in this match. He wins the first set 6-3. Then Zverev wakes up, starts playing unbelievable, wins the second set 6-2. Interestingly, Zverev continues to play well and wins the third set 7-5 and is now up 2-1 against Alcaraz in a Grand Slam final. Very close to collecting his first Grand Slam championship. But wait, Alcaraz wakes up, starts playing a lot better, wins the fourth set 6-1. And in the fifth set, even though this set went 6-2 for Alcaraz, it featured a lot of drama. It featured a super tight call. There was a lot of speculation on the internet that Zverev was cheated. I don't think so. I covered this match. Alcaraz was deserving of this title. He won his first French Open championship, and like I said, not the greatest quality of tennis that we've ever seen, but entertainment-wise, this match was a lot of fun. And coming in at number 1, the undisputed best match. It's undeniable that Djokovic versus Alcaraz in the Olympic final was not only the best match of 2024, it was one of the best matches of all time. Look, you could argue about the quality of play. I thought it was a very high level from both, but you can make arguments that there were some nervy parts to this match. There was a tremendous amount of pressure. This was one of the most important matches in Djokovic's career. And if you remember the circumstances before the final, I remember them really well. There were not many people that were giving Djokovic a chance. Why? Because Djokovic was struggling. He had just lost to Alcaraz in the Wimbledon final very easily in 3 sets. He had that knee injury that he sustained at the French Open, and Alcaraz was on the top of the tennis world, winning back-to-back French Open and Wimbledon titles. And Djokovic came out with a game plan of extending the rallies and making Alcaraz play. Now, I predicted that he was going to do this. And if you go back to my prediction video, you're going to see so many people disagreeing with this tactic. They call it a stupid tactic, keeping the ball in play. They were saying that Djokovic was going to get blown off the court. But this worked because there was a lot of tension in this match. And Alcaraz did have some patchy moments. Now, Djokovic never ended up breaking Alcaraz in this match. It was a 7-6, 7-6 match. And Djokovic basically winning the most important points of this match. His serve was in danger several times, and Djokovic was incredibly clutch in those moments and played 2 absolutely spectacular tiebreaks and possibly won the most important title of his life, which meant that he had won every single tournament there is to win. So, entertaining match of 2024. And look, I know you guys are going to bring up the Beijing final between Sinner and Alcaraz, and you could possibly put that at number 5 or number 4. You could put it even higher if you want to. This was a super high level match. I personally put it at number 6. I do think that the rivalry between Sinner and Alcaraz is one that has a lot of potential, could be one of the greatest of all time. And the Beijing match is possibly the best one that they've played. So I expect a lot more great battles from those two guys in 2025.